Preschool story time. We're not at the library, but I hope you join us at home. Today, we're going to start off with my favorite song. Hold on, let me get my backup singers. Hold on.
Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around.
Make sure we can hear it. Here we go.
You can keep standing up.
Here we go. Let's go.
But not for long. 'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song. Good.
Here we go.
Now stand up if you're 5 years old. And sit back down again. Stand up if you're 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Then sit back down with your friends. Stand up if you're 4 or 3.
Oh, stand up. Stand up.
Stand up if you're 8, 9, or 10.
Woohoo!
Now everybody sit back down. We'll do it once again. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long.
Here we go. Are you ready?
'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song.
Woo!
Stand up if you have a sister.
Sister, who has a sister?
Now sit back down again.
Okay, sit down.
Stand up if you have a brother.
I have a brother. I'm standing up.
Now sit back down with your friends.
Sit down.
Stand up if you have a dog at home.
I have a dog at home.
Stand up if you have a cat.
Cat? Meow.
Now everybody sit back down. This time we'll do it fast. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long. 'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song. Now stand up if you like music.
Music, stand up.
And sit back down with your friends. Stand up if you like sports.
I like sports.
Then sit back down
Sit down with
again.
friends.
Stand up just if you feel like it. You don't even have to ask. Now everybody sit back down. This time we're gonna do
Fast,
it
here we go.
very
You ready?
fast. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again. And turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long. 'Cause this is the sit down, stand up, 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 sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down song.
Woo! We need a breather after that. For story time today, our bear theme, we're going to read Bear Snores On. In a cave in the woods, in his deep dark lair, through the long cold winter sleeps a great brown bear. Cuddled in a heap with his eyes shut tight, he sleeps through the day and he sleeps through the night. The cold winds howl and the night sounds growl, but the bear snores on. An itty-bitty mouse, pitter-pat, tip-toe, crept crawls in the cave from the fluff cold snow. Mouse squeaks, too damp, too dank, too dark, so he lights wee twigs with a small, hot spark. The coals pip-pop and the wind doesn't stop, but the bear snores on. Two glowing eyes sneak peek in the den. Mouse cries, "Who's there?" and a hare hops in. "Ho, Mouse," says Hare, "long time no see." So they pop white corn and they brew black tea. Mouse sips wee slurps. Hare burps big burps. But the bear snores on. A badger scuffles by, sniff snuff at the air. I smell yummy yums, perhaps we could share. I've brought honey nuts, Badger said with a grin. Let's divvy them up and cozy down and dig in. And they nibble and they munch with a chew, chomp, crunch. But the bear snores on. A gopher and a mole tunnel up through the floor. When a wren and a raven flutter in through the door. Mole mutters, "What a night, what a storm," twitters wren. And everybody clutters in the great bear's den. They tweet and they titter, they chat and they chitter, but the bear snores on. In a cave in the woods, a slumbering bear sleeps through the party in his very own lair. Hare stokes the fire, mouse seasons the stew. Then a small pepper flake makes the bear ha chew. He blows and he sneezes and the whole crowd freezes. And the bear wakes up. Bear gnarls and he snarls, he roars and he rumbles. Bear jumps and he stomps, and bear growls and he grumbles. You've snuck in my lair and you've all had fun, but me, I was sleeping and I have had none. And he whimpers and he moans and he wails and he groans, and the bear blubbers on. Mouse squeaks, "Don't fret, don't fuss. Look, see, we can pop more corn and we can brew more tea." Bear gulps, bear gobbles. He sighs with delight, then he sips tall tales through the blustery night. When the sun peeks up on a crisp, clear dawn, bear can't sleep, but his friends snore on. Bear's new friend. In the woods in the sun on a hot summer day, Bear feels an itching to head out and play. He goes to find Mouse, his littlest friend, but just as a big bear, he heads around the bend. There's a clatter in the tree. Oh, what could that be? And the bear asks, "Who?" Bear calls, "Is that Mouse who hides in the tree?" But Mouse scurries up and squeaks, "It's not me." Bear scratches his head. "Who's hiding up there?" Mouse shrugs his shoulders, and perhaps it is a hare. Mouse starts to shout, "Come out, friend, come out." And the bear asks, "Who?" Nobody answers. "Who is it?" asked Bear. They peek in the tree, but nobody's there. Bear cries, "No one's here, but where did they go?" When Hare hops along and says, "Heidi-ho!" Something sped past, going fast, fast, fast. And the bear asks, "Who?" Hare says, "Let's go follow and see what we see." Bear says, "Is it Badger? Who else could it be?" But there by a log with Gopher and Mole, Badger is peering into a deep hole. "Come look if you dare, there's someone down there." And the bear asks, "Who?" Bear says, "It's not us, but who is it then?" "I know," says Badger. "It's Raven or Wren." But Raven and Wren flopped down from the sky. "We saw all our friends and thought we'd fly by." Up from the ground comes a rustling sound, and the bear says, "Who?" "Who are you down there? Who is it, I say? Why stay in that hole? Why hide all day? Why don't you like us? Why?" Then a trembling voice said, Because I'm shy. Two eyes peek-a-boo, and the voice says, "Who?" And the bear says, "Hi." "I'm Bear. Howdy ho." "That's Mouse and that's Hare, and Gopher and Mole are standing right there. Next to those bushes sits Raven and Wren. Come swimming with us in the pool by the glen. Please do not hide. Come on outside. Then..." An owl says, "Hoo, hoo, hoo." "Hello, I'm Owl. I'm sorry I hid. I am just a little bashful, and that's why I did." Bear says, "Hello, friend. Come on," cries Mole, and they all scamper off to the old swimming hole. They splash and they have fun in the hot summer sun. It's Bear's new friend. Bear says thanks. All alone in his cave, Bear listens to the wind. He is bored, 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 and he misses his friends. "I could make a big dinner, a feast I could share." But he looks through his cupboards, and his cupboards are bare. Then Mouse stops by with a huckleberry pie, and the bear says, "Thanks." Bear says, "Goodness me, a delectable pie, but I have made nothing." And he adds with a sigh. Then they hear, "Hi ho!" and they both look and see Hare with a big batch of muffins at the door of the lair. Hare hurries in from the cold, rushing wind, and the bear says, "Thanks." "Of course," says Hare. Then he points to the door. "Here comes Badger. He's got even more." "Brr," says Badger as he tromps inside. He sets down his pole and he smiles real wide. "I'm back from a stroll at the old fishing hole." And the bear says, "Thanks." Then Gopher and Mole tunnel up from the ground. "We have some warm honey nuts. Let's pass them around." There's a flap and a flitter and a flurry in the den when it flutters Owl and Raven and Wren. "We have pears from the tree and herbs to brew tea." And the bear says, "Wait!" Bear mutters and he stutters and he wears a big frown. Bear sighs and he moans and he plops himself down. You have brought yummy treats. You are so nice to share. But me, I have nothing. My cupboards are bare." Mouse squeaks, "Don't fret. There's enough, dear bear. You don't need any food. You have stories to share." His friends hug him tight. It will be all right. And the bear says, "Thanks." They lay out their feast on a quill on the ground, and the bear takes a seat while his friends gather round. In a cave in the woods, in a warm, bright lair, the friends feel grateful for their good friend Bear. They pass around platters, they tweet and they chatter, and they all say, "Thanks." Bear's loose tooth. From a cave in the forest came a munch, munch, crunch, as Bear and his friends all nibbled on their lunch. Bear savored every bite, he gulped and he gobbled, then there in his mouth something wiggled and it wobbled. As Bear nibbled food, something moved. When he chewed, It was Bear's loose tooth. Bear pointed in his mouth and he said, "Oh dear, my tooth feels funny. It's the one right here." Bear frowned and he worried. Tears welled in his eyes. "But how will I eat if my tooth says goodbye?" Hare said, "Open wide." Then he looked inside and he saw Bear's loose tooth. Mouse squeaked, "Don't fret, don't fuss. Look, see, a new tooth will grow where the old used to be." "We'll help," said Wren. "I know what to do. It's out with the old and in with the new." Wren perched on Bear's lips and he got a good grip on Bear's loose tooth. Wren pulled on the tooth with all of his might. "Is it out?" asked Bear, but it stayed stuck tight. "I'm a bit too small for the job," said Wren, "so I will grab the tooth," but the tooth stayed in. Badger said, "I'll try," and he gave a big pry on the Bear's loose tooth. They all took a turn, but the tooth wouldn't budge. Then Bear used his tongue, and he gave a little nudge. His tooth wiggled to and fro, and then what do you know? Bear's tooth fell out. Bear danced a big dance. Bear grinned a big grin. Bear held up his tooth, and he showed all his friends. Bear looked in the mirror and he laughed at his smile. A new tooth would come, but it might be a while. That night in bed, right next to his head, lay Bear's loose tooth. While he slept and he snored, a fairy fluttered in, and she left blueberries where Bear's tooth had been. He woke in the morning and found a sweet treat. Bear's friends came for breakfast and they sat down to eat. Bear gulped and he gobbled, and he felt something wobble. Oh no! Bear's loose tooth. Today for Storytime Craft, we're going to make a paper bag puppet bear. So we'll provide the little template of the little bear. So you can always print that out or copy it. So I'm going to cut out the pieces. I did print the bear on some brown paper. And you just need a simple lunch paper bag, some glue, some markers or crayons. I've got his teeth and his tongue. What I did for the teeth and the tongue is I traced the pattern onto white cardstock and red cardstock. You can do the same for the bear. Just trace it and put it on some brown paper. And I would like for him to have a black nose, so I'm going to color his nose black. And you take your paper bag and you want the flap side up. And you're gonna glue your face on. Actually, let's glue our ears first, so that way we can get them underneath our face. So you could use glue stick or Elmer's. And the ears are labeled left and right. Okay, now let's put the face on. And the face gets glued right to the flap of the paper bag. We want to add his nose. That gets glued right to the face, just below the eyes. And then his paws will get glued to the bottom of the paper bag. And then for his mouth, you want to lift the flap of the paper bag. We'll put his tongue in first. And then he has some big teeth. And you also glue those to the flap of the paper bag. And I'm gluing 2 pointed down and 2 up. So 2 on the flap and 2 on the bottom. If you want to, you can give them a little fold so they kind of stick out. Those are big teeth. Then you can put your hand in your bag, let's get the flap, and then your teddy bear opens up and has some big teeth in there. Ah!